Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a whole new episode of Full Seam Ahead. I'm your host, Zoe. My other guy on the other side, Mr. Cantu. How we doing?
It's going good over here. How's it going over there?
Trade deadlines here, dude. A lot of pressure going on through really the AL West. AL West right now, a lot of teams are making moves. Specifically, your divisional opponent, the Rangers, and then even the Angels are making some moves. We'll talk about that in a minute since our trade deadline special part one. But episode 114, Astros offense is bipolar. It goes 17 runs one day, and then the next day it goes to two. So it's kind of like it's going high, low, and it's like it's kind of frustrating for Astro fans. And of course, everybody knows like they're saying the curse of having 10 plus runs, and then the next day they don't score any. So it's unfortunate the Astros lose this series against the Tampa Bay Rays. They honestly could have won it, but that's baseball. So Angel, give me that one word describe this series against them.
I think it was a missed opportunity. That's how I would describe it because the Rangers got swept by the Padres. So this was a perfect opportunity for the Astros to be first place in the division or even tie. Like right now, they're one game back in the division, but they could have easily been tied for it, and it could have easily been um, number one. Right?
Yeah.
I think that first game they could have had it. In that 4-3 game, it was close. Then they did the onslaught in the second game, 17-3, I believe. And then the last one, they just couldn't hit. I'm sorry, they could hit. They got 10 hits. It was just like situational hitting.
Yeah.
The Rays had 12 hits and they scored what 8 runs.
Mm-hmm.
The Astros has 10 hits and they only scored 2 runs. So it's like situational hitting, like hitting at the right time is what really messed them up.
Yeah, I mean that last game too. The Rays didn't even hit the ball really hard. It was just soft contact. Well, if you count up one of the lows, I don't know if it was Josh or Brandon Lowe that hit a home
Brandon.
run. Brandon Lowe. So,
Hmm.
I mean, other than that, I mean, everything else was pretty much not hard contact, soft to medium. So, like you said, it's a missed opportunity. The guys could have had it. That first game, I believe, would set the tone for the series. I mean, to credit the Astros, they did come back and try to make the game interesting. They tied the game 3-3. Ryan Presley can't do it all. Gave up a leadoff double to Jose Siri, which Siri ran that ball out. And if everybody knows in Major League Baseball, that man could run. He is El Rayo for a reason, Mr. Lightning. So, yeah, I mean, it happens. But at the same time, too, the Astros are just one game back, like you said, 59-47 is their record. Of course, like I said, we'll talk about the trade deadline in a minute with the Rangers. But let's start off with our shout outs from this Tampa Bay series. And Angel, I got to give two starting pitchers, even though Brandon Belak did, not the best. He struggled back to back outings. We're going to go Christian Javier and we're going to go Hunter Brown.
Yeah.
Javier with a great outing. After that first inning, he, gave up that home run, 3 runs in the first. Wasn't looking too pretty, honestly. I was like, oh no, this is not going to be Christian Javier's kind of game to settle in and see how he's going to perform. 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts, 104 pitches with 66 strikes, topped at 95 miles per hour, 7 times in the ball game. That is a great sign to see from Christian Javier because everything we've talked about, the velocity has not been there throughout this whole season, but this game right here, I mean, 7 times that is remarkable for him, and recorded a 6 inning outing for the first time since June
Wow.
15. That is a long time if you think about it. I mean, that's a month. That's over a month and a half almost. So credit to El Reptile for his outing, even though the Astros did lose. It's looking like he's coming slowly by slowly back to his original self. Hunter Brown, got to give him 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. I mean, he had a shutout till the seventh inning, and then next thing you know, the Rays started to figure him out. If you remember our last podcast, we discussed his first outing against them at Tropicana Field. I mean, he was dominating, and sure enough, it stayed the same way at Minute Maid Park. 95 pitches, 58 of them were strikes. It gets back-to-back quality starts. Positive sign to see Diesel coming out and doing a great job, pitching a very well game as well, because we've talked about before, his command sometimes not there, the velocity as well. He tries to do too much, trying to overpower his fastball and striking hitters out. Back-to-back games as well, Angel, 4 strikeouts from each game. So
Nice.
just it just shows you right there. It doesn't have to be the strikeout all the time. It could just be a ground out, pop out, and that's what it did in this game.
No, yeah, they were phenomenal, and I was seeing on the like on the telecast too that Christian Javier and Hunter Brown have like top two ERA against the Rays, so they were like they definitely have their number. But let's take it
Mhm.
to the offensive side. Give me Jose Altuve. We've
Yes.
like the Astros have been waiting for him to come back because he's a true feature in that lineup, and he did not disappoint. 6 for 13, a 4.62 batting average, one home run, two RBIs. Oh, that home run did come off the backup catcher Pinto, but hey, when they're throwing
Yeah.
bad in practice, you take them deep. And
Hmm.
then he did have a 3 hit game on Sunday, and that is a really good sign. And honestly, like, my favorite hit from Altuve because that shows me that he's back is that first at bat when he took that fastball the other way for a
Hmm.
single. That that's the house. That's the Jose
Simple
Altuve. That
baseball.
yeah, that's not trying to do too much. Just get on base and help the team win. Next, Jose Abreu, 4 for 11, 364 batting average, one home run and three RBIs. He's been again. I know everybody still remembers that long start, but he's a little bit. He's now that he's a little bit on the bottom of the order a little bit. I think he's gotten a little bit more comfortable. He has definitely has some protection that Alvarez is back, so a good sign from him.
Yeah, he's just hitting under 300. I believe I saw a tweet since June 30th. I could be wrong, but I mean, he's been doing a fascinating job at the plate, stepping up in big ways when Alvarez was hurt, when Tucker needed a break. I mean, he would step up, and sure enough, he's continuing to do it on. And yeah, I think it's just the beginning. I honestly see it happening, and from August to September to October. But let's give a little bit of love to Mr. Yiner Diaz. Only one game started from the series, 2 for 5 with a home run, 2 RBIs. If you remember, that home run got the game started for game two with that 2 run shot, deep center too. Angel, I mean,
Hmm.
I haven't seen a ball hit that far since Alvarez. Of course, Alvarez would be the only one to hit it that far. He did turn that game upside down against the Philadelphia Phillies. But Yainer Diaz, I got to see more plate opportunity for him, man. I really need to see more. I feel like if he gets more consistent at bats throughout this season, and yes, he was the DH. Alvarez is coming back. We'll have an update with Michael Brantley too, because he could be looking at some DH roles if he trends at the right direction. But even getting some catching playing time, he hits really well, which is very, kind of weird for me to say that because I feel like he would hit better as a DH. But when he's behind the plate catching, he has a batting average over 300, slugging over four. I mean, we got to see more playing time for him. No offense to Maldi, but that bat from Yiner is going to help the Astros offense if they're going to make a big run in the World Series.
And not just his offense. Yeah, Johnny Diaz has some pop, but Hunter Brown pitched well, right? Who
Mm-hmm.
was catching him? Yanier
Yiner.
Diaz.
Yep.
And usually when Yanier Diaz catches Hunter Brown, he's been really successful. Like his last few outings where Hunter Brown struggled, Martin Monado has been his catcher. So he doesn't just help the like on the offensive side. He's also a great defensive catcher. I don't think he gets enough credit for that. But
Yeah.
again, Yanier Diaz does have some pop, and it's exciting to see in the lineup. I know, like how you're saying, Jordan Alvarez is back, so that's a hard to come by now. But I think he's earned his fair share of at bats this season. But moving on to Astros injuries and updates, we got from Michael Brantley. Friday and Saturday, Michael Brantley was taking batting practice on the field. I think this is the trend with Michael Brantley. He takes batting practice again. He's trying to ease his way back. This is what Dusty Baker had to say on Sunday about Michael Brantley. He's working his way up to velocity. He's trying a different rehab this time. Where last time he rushed right into it. So far, so good. So again, I think he was on the right track, then got a little rehurt, slowed down. Nice building it slowly but surely. Next,
Yeah.
Jose Urquidy. Sunday, Danny Brown on Sports Talk 790. If Urquidy, this is what he had to say. If Urquidy comes out today's, which is Sunday's rehab start for Double A Corpus Christi, today there's a chance he could make the following start for the Astros in a possible six-man rotation. Urquidy, on his fourth rehab start, he went 5 innings pitch, 9 hits, 5 earned runs, 0 walks, 2 strikeouts. He did throw 70 pitches and 52 strikes. Now, I remember though you were saying that Jose Urquidy said that he'll feel right once he throws 70 pitches. Well, He threw 70 pitches, right?
Hmm.
Now, I'm not too worried about the 5 earned runs or the 9 hits. He had command. 0 walks. That's the one I'm paying attention to. 0 walks. I'm sure he was working on the nicks and ticks on the play, trying to get locate his stuff. So I'm not too worried about the end of the scoreline. But Jose Urquidy's coming back, and that is a very good sign. And then it's a good sign that the Astros are doing a 6-man rotation because that gives their
Yeah.
pitchers an extra day of rest. Do you have anything to say about that?
No, I think it's good. And like you said, I'm not too worried. Like you said, with the 9 hits, 5 earned runs. Yeah, it's not a pretty sign when you see that as a baseball fan. You're like thinking, okay, this is against Double A San Antonio Missions. I mean, what are we doing here? This guy's a major league pitcher, but at the same time, too, he's probably focusing on the little things, like you were saying. No walks. That's a positive sign to see like his command is going and working for him. Maybe the players on the offensive side from that Double A team was chasing. The swing and misses are an important thing into that game as well. So yes, 6-man rotation is a huge bonus because I feel like Christian Javier, Framber Valdez, the two guys on top of the rotation, I feel like they are getting a little fatigued, a little tired. Maybe it helps them out if they do 6-man. Brandon Belak, if you do decide to go with a what if you go with a 5-man, that sends Belak to the bullpen. Yeah, so I think right now, as of right now, 6-man is where you need to go. Give that extra day of rest for them starting pitchers, and like I said, don't have it all taxed.
Oh yeah, I agree with you 100%. We have a little bit more updates from Dana Brown on the trade deadline. I think this is what Astros fans are eager to see what the Astros will do next. So this is per Jim Bowden, MLB analyst on CBS Sports. Dana Brown just told us they are not presently in the market for a starting pitcher. Instead, they're focusing on the back end of their bullpen and a left-handed bat. But priority is pen, but that could shift at the deadline and could end up with a starter and put a starter in the pen. Dana Brown again on Sports Talk 790. And I quote, we would like to do a couple of more things if we could, if it makes sense, price tag wise. I really wouldn't want to give up the farm because we still have sustainable winning here. If there's a deal that makes sense, maybe improving the back end of our bullpen a little bit more, our guys are a little tax. We've had some starters that went down, so if we could improve in that area, that would be outstanding. Right now, we're not in the market for a starter, but if something becomes available that makes sense, we may jump on it. It continues. There's a lot of teams in that mix of buying right now, and that's what making it even more difficult because some of these teams that are sellers are getting these high price tags with these guys' supply and demand. Well, after Dana Brown says that, guess what they do? They go get Kendall Graveman. You know, he comes back from the Astros. The Astros were trying to sign him on a 2-year deal before before he left. Kendall Graveman wanted a 3-year deal, didn't work out, but now the Astros have him for a year and a half, which is I guess you can say both got what they wanted. I mean, Dusty Baker didn't want to see Kendall Graveman go, but now he gets him back. They do send Corey Lee, Astros number 7 prospects, to the White Sox. I know there's some Astros fans that really like Corey Lee as part of their future, but with the success that Yanier Diaz has been having, it's just kind of like
Yeah,
there's no reason to have two great catchers when there's only one position on the field for that. So
definitely.
yeah, in 2003, I'm sorry, in 2013, Kendall Graveman was 3-4 with a 3.40. I'm sorry, then I made a mistake.
2023.
Oh my bad. What did I say?
You said 2000. You said 2003.
Oh,
Then you go to 2013.
my bad. I'm tired. I'm tired. This is a late podcast we're recording. 2023, Kendall Graveman, he was a 3 for 4, 3.40 ERA, 45 innings pitched. Post All Star break though, 7.20 ERA, 5 innings pitched, 8 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. It was a different story in 2001 though. In 2001, he was 5-1. I'm sorry,
2021.
2021. I actually heard it this time. I didn't hear it the first time.
Oh
2021
man.
was a different story. 5-1, 1.77 ERA, 56 innings pitched. Well, good thing I teach reading, huh? Postseason,
Oh my
postseason,
gosh.
he was pretty special for the Astros. He's 1-0, 1.64 ERA, 11 innings pitched, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 walks, and 11 strikeouts. what even made it even more better, he had a 1.79 opposing batting average and a 9.0 strikeout to 9 inning ratio. So I think the Astros are happy to have him back. I think Astros fans are happy to have him back. Kendall Graveman was pretty was good with the Astros. He was pretty good with the White Sox, and he was really good with Seattle as well.
Yeah, I think I like this. I really like this move. Honestly, you give a guy that has that experience, especially I think he has that tick too because in 2021 the Astros were so close to winning the World Series. He got that taste. He's coming back to the same team. Well, not the same 2021 team. You still got Altuve. You still got Brantley here. You still got, I mean, Bregman, Tucker, Alvarez. I mean, he still got all these offensive guys, and then the bullpen too. The bullpen was very excited to have him back. Phil Maton was one of them being and you expect Phil, especially he don't show a lot of emotion, but he was very excited to hear Kendall Graveman coming back. And then even Graveman himself, he even said that Houston feels like home for him. Like this is his second home, he said. And I mean, I think it's a great move for both sides. He feels that this organization trusts him, and I think it just gives him more confidence. So I think it's a great move on the Astros part. Dana Brown did get it innings eater that he wanted. And Grayman, yes, he's pitched about 45 innings this year, just like everybody else in this bullpen right now. But I think it settles down players like Abreu, Neris, Maton, Presley as well. Presley don't get a save one night. You could go to Graveman. He has that experience since Liam Hendricks was dealing with, coming back into baseball form. So he was that closer over there. I think it's a good move for the Astros. Of course, Corey Lee, like you were saying, Dana Brown already said Yainer Diaz is going to be the future at the catching position. What's the reason why carrying two young catchers? Unless you develop him into a first baseman, which first baseman you got Jose Abreu for what 3 more years.
Okay.
So I think it's a good move for both sides. Catching position for the White Sox too right now, it's not really great, but yeah, I think it's a good move. So I want to get your perspective though. I mean, Dana Brown did talk about all the moves that he was talking about was starting pitching that it doesn't look like it needs to be right now. The farm system as well, supply and demand, high in demand as well from all these other teams. I mean, do you still think and do you feel like the Astros are still going to make a move for a starting pitcher? Justin Verlander has been one of the guys right now, the top names that Houston has been listening to and communicating over there with the Mets. So, I mean, you got Framber Valdez, Christian Javier, JP France is your third best starter right now, and really he's the number one guy after the All Star break. Hunter Brown, you're having Jose Urquidy come back. Brandon Belak is like your last resort. And you can even kind of add Ronel Blanco, but Brandon Belak's been the guy pitching more. So give me your opinion. What do you think? Do you think the Astros need to make a move still, regardless of how their rotation is? Or do you just settle and just continue with this rotation all the way to the postseason?
I think they will make a move. I think the Astros have a little eye for the dramatic. They like waiting to the last minute to get a trade going in, but I do think they need to make a trade, especially. And I know you're about to talk about this, especially how the Rangers and Angels have been making moves. Like they're competing in that division.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, they're competing big time, dude. That they got to figure it out. I'm honestly saying that they're going to be pressured right now. Rangers
Hmm.
are making some moves, like you're saying. The Angels are making moves. The Angels are making moves. Let me repeat that. For they're trying to show Shohei Ohtani they're still in contention.
Yeah.
Think about it. My Trout's still not even back either. Real quick, since we're talking about our trade deadline special already. This is part one. Rangers, and we're just talking about the American League. We're focusing on the AL, the National League. Of course, we could talk about that too, but AL, that's where the Astros are. That's where they got to go through. Rangers, left-handed pitcher Aroldis Chapman, right-handed pitcher Max Scherzer, left-handed pitcher Jordan Montgomery, right-handed pitcher Chris Stratton. Okay, the Rangers gave up infielder Luis Angel Acuna. That is Ronald Acuna Jr.'s brother, which he is, I believe, he's ranked like in the top 100s in the MLB pipeline, I believe. And that was just in that trade against the Mets for
Hmm.
Scherzer, which is very, I think it's crazy and shocking. I thought Cohen would have asked a little bit more. Epler as well, their GM. Left-handed pitcher Josh King, unranked. Infielder Thomas Sagis, number 14 prospect. And right-handed pitcher TK Roby, number 11 prospect. All them three players are going to the St. Louis Cardinals. So the Rangers are putting everything out on the table right now.
Yeah.
Chris Young is making these moves and showing not just the Astros, not showing the American League, but showing Major League Baseball that they're not playing. They are acting like the 2015 Astros, I'm going to say, because the Astros started making moves on 2015. Carlos Correa came up. The Astros made a great run. If I believe still to this day, if Correa doesn't miss that ground ball that Tony Sipp had actually missed and it tipped out of Correa's glove, he took his eye away from it. It gets that double play. The Astros win the DS, goes to the CS, and I feel like they would have won it, or at least got to the World Series against the Mets. But Rangers, like I said, they're not playing around. I mean, what do you think about that?
No, I agree with you 100%. They're putting all their chips on the line. Like, if the Mets are lucky, like Luis Angel Acuna can be just like his brother and like light up New York. But yeah, like they're in first place. They're making these moves because like they don't want to give in and lose their dominance in the AL West.
Not just that. The important thing from this part is Max Scherzer is reuniting with his pitching coach, and we have talked about it before about that rotation, Mike Maddox. Mike Maddox and Max Scherzer were both together in Washington
Oh
with
wow,
the
I didn't know that.
Nationals. Yeah, so they were together. Like I said, Mike Maddox is a great pitching coach. As soon as he heard Bruce Bochy was going to Texas, he left St. Louis. He's like, "Hey, I'm going over here. I'm gonna team up with Bochy and let's build something, together over here." Sure enough, they're getting. I mean, Maddox and Scherzer. Scherzer could just change into a Cy Young pitcher, just in a snap of a finger. Rangers got the Mets to pay what 35 million of that contract as well for Scherzer, and then Scherzer opted in for that 24 club option, so he's going to be a Ranger till 2024. Just think about it for next year. Jacob Degrom, which he'll probably come in the midseason. Max Scherzer, Nathan Uvalde, John Gray, Andrew Heaney. That's not a bad starting rotation, honestly, for the Rangers. I'm
Yeah,
just gonna say it like that. And I'm not giving them props, not giving them their flowers. They're just making moves right now, man. So that's just the Rangers. The Angels now. Right-handed pitcher Lucas Giolito, right-handed pitcher Reynaldo Lopez, first baseman slash DH CJ Crone, and outfielder Brandel Grichuk plus cash considerations. The Angels gave up their number two prospect and catcher Edgar Kittle, right-handed pitcher Kai Bush, number three prospect. That's all going to the White Sox. And then for the Rockies, left-handed pitcher Mason Albright, number 28 prospect, and the right-handed pitcher Jake Madden, number 18 prospect, which I feel like the Rockies got a little bit less for CJ Crone and Randall Grichuk because them guys are hitting the ball. They added power just for them two guys.
yeah,
Okay. They boosted up a little bit of their bullpen. Reynaldo Lopez, I'd say he's a mid kind of guy, mid ERA as well. He could give you good innings, and then Lucas Giolito too. If he could transform himself to, I believe it was 2020 or 2021, one of those years that he was pitching really great, Cy Young candidate as well. Artie Moreno is just showing Shohei Ohtani, like I said, and Mike Trout, hey, I ain't playing around. And he's basically telling Major League Baseball too, hey, Shohei's gonna stay, and I'm gonna show y'all. And
yeah,
he's making these moves. Shohei, I don't know what he's feeling like right now. He said he doesn't mind staying with the Angels for the rest of his career. This could just build not just for this, but it could build on for the future of this organization. So it just doesn't get competitive right now. It's going to get competitive a little bit longer if Otani stays with the Angels. So,
yeah.
Angel, tell me, what do you think?
No, yeah, like Shohei Ohtani can't do it all. They needed pitching help. They got, like I said, Lucas Giolito and Reynaldo Lopez. They need hitting help. And they got the two guys from Colorado and CJ Cron, Randall Grichuk. Is a great move. I think it's an all around move. Like it makes them a little bit more balanced because their pitching wasn't that great. Like I think Barria was getting like lit up. Their offense, like there's games where if Shohei Ohtani doesn't score, the entire lineup doesn't score. So like they needed this help and they needed big. And then a good thing, like a bright spot is that, like you said, they're going to be competitive next year as well. Like it's done this year. So the Astros are struggling to hold on to first, like to even be in first place in the AL West. Well, guess what? Next year's gonna be just as hard as well.
Yeah. So I mean, if you think about it right now, the Angels are, I believe, 4 games back of the wild card, not too far back. They can all you have to do is just get in. Just think about the Padres, not the well, yeah, the Padres, the Phillies. They met up in the NLCS. They beat the reigning champions, the Atlanta Braves, the LA Dodgers. Nobody had saw that coming besides San Diego fans. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. It's just Monday. Just wait till tomorrow for Tuesday. That's I feel like all the acquisitions are gonna come in. And then real quick before we move on to the Astro like transactions, as I will read, Blue Jays got right-handed pitcher Jordan Hicks, the flamethrower, the kid from Houston. If you did not know that, he's from Houston. Blue Jays gave up right-handed pitcher M. Robers, number 7 prospect, and the right-handed pitcher Adam Klopfenstein, unranked. So Blue Jays are making some moves too. Jordan Romano, if you did not see, got placed on the 15-day IL. Same thing as Taylor Ward. That's what I was going to mention too. I completely forgot. If you did not see that scary moment that Alec Manoa had hit him in the literally in the face. He has some face fractures. He's on the 60-day IL. So they're not 100% sure if he's
He's
gonna
done.
make it. Yeah, they're really not sure if he's gonna make it for the rest of the season. So a little bit bright side, you get Brandon Drury back from the IL and Mike Trout, but Taylor Ward was on one of them guys. But finishing off with the Blue Jays, they're just bolstering up their bullpen. I'm pretty sure they're gonna go still find a way try to get another starter, and everybody knows about that offense. Bo Bichette, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. If George Springer could figure out how to hit, he could be that postseason guy, 2017 World Series MVP all over again. So that's just the American League Angel. We'll just have to see on Tuesday. We'll have another trade deadline special part 2. See all the crazy move that's going around Major League Baseball.
Yeah, and the Blue Jays are like the reason we're talking about the Blue Jays is because they're competing for that wild card spot. I think the Astros are tied for with the Blue Jays for second in the wild card spot. So like, like whatever moves they're making is crucial to the Astros season as well.
Yep, Astros, Rangers, Angels, whoever it is in that AL West for the wild card, even the Red Sox. I mean, it's really stacked if you go look at it. Rays, because the Orioles right now they took 2 out of 3 against the Yankees at Baltimore. This American League, man, it's really scary. It is really scary. Excuse me. So let's talk about the Astros trade deadline transaction since 2015, Angel.
Okay.
2015 was when they started their run. They made it to the wild card. Like I said, all you gotta do is get in that wild card. You never know what can happen. 2015. I'm gonna break you down the trades because I want you to see what pattern I'm trying to pick up and trying to like tell the audience. Okay. Astros trade left-handed pitcher Josh Hader, starting pitcher Adrian Hauser, center fielder Brett Phillips, left fielder Domingo Santana. The Astros acquire center fielder Carlos Gomez and right-handed pitcher, if everybody remembers, the guy that threw a no-hitter. That helped the Astros too in 2015, really, be honest with you. My fires. So that's that one. 2016. I think this is probably the best trade out of all of these trades, I would say. Astros trade Josh Fields, right-handed pitcher, for DH Yordan Alvarez. No one would have thought Yordan Alvarez was going to be this good. So,
The Astros.
yeah, the Astros did. Jeff Luno did. Sigma Dale did. All those guys in the front office. So, 2016, they didn't make the playoffs, obviously. 2017, that's when they made their World Series run. They won the World Series as well. They traded away starting pitcher Franklin Perez, catcher Jake Rogers, and outfielder Daz Cameron, son of Mike Cameron, if you did not know that, for Justin Verlander to the Detroit Tigers. Everybody knows how that ended up, how that transacted, and all that. 2018 comes around. They faced the Boston Red Sox in the ALCS and were defeated. I don't know if we could call it cheating or not cheating, of course. We don't know. Right-handed pitcher Jorge Alcala and outfielder Gilberto Celestino was traded from the Astros to acquire right-handed pitcher, setup man, and now the closer for the Astros, Ryan Presley, which I think is a good move as well. 2019 comes, Astros trade starting pitcher Corbin Martin, JB Bukowskis, Seth Beer, and utility man Josh Rojas. The Astros acquired from that one Mr. Zach Greinke. So I think everybody knows how that transacted. Honestly, they could have won that World Series. We are not going to go into that deep detail for that one because that one still hurts. 2021, the Astros trade Miles Straw, center fielder, and third baseman Abraham Toro. Astros acquire right-handed pitcher Phil Maton, catcher Yiner Diaz from the Cleveland Guardians, or yeah, were they called Guardians or Indians at that time?
Indians.
I'm gonna say Indians because I'd rather say that than the Guardians. I still can't stand that name. And then of course the Seattle Mariner trade for Toro. Toro got sent off over there. Right-handed pitcher Rafael Montero and Kendall Graveman. I think everybody liked that trade. Astros made it to the World Series, but will lose to the Braves. And the final trade of this deadline transaction list. Two. Astros trade outfielder Wellier Abreu, infielder Emmanuel Valdez, outfielder Jose Siri, and outfielder Chase McDermott. The Astros acquired catcher Christian Vasquez from the Red Sox and first baseman Trace Mancini from the Baltimore Orioles. They would win the World Series. Christian Vasquez and Trey Mancini played two huge parts of that postseason run. Vasquez being the catcher to catch that no hitter, and then Trey Mancini making that special play at first from a 100 plus ball off of Kyle Schwarber's bat. So, Angel, I mean, do you see the trend where I'm trying to go here? From these players, who is still playing in this league? Of course, 2022, you really can't give a good estimate of who's playing still. But I mean, from 2015 all the way down, I mean, who's still dominant, and I mean, who's still not?
I would say a guy you just saw this series, Jose Siri, is still playing Miles Straw. That's pretty much it. Oh, Josh
Oh, you
Hader.
forgot. I'm about to say you forgot Mr.
Yeah,
Josh Hader.
Josh.
The crazy thing too about that 2019 package, Corbin Martin was like number 2 on the prospect list. Bukowskis was number 3. Seth Beer was number 1. Josh Rojas was like number, I think 7. I'm not 100% sure. For Zach
I think he
Greinke,
was higher.
was he higher?
Yeah,
Like I
like a
said,
lot
not
higher than
100%.
this.
Yeah, not 100% sure, but who's still playing though?
Josh
Josh
Rojas.
Rojas. He's still playing in the majors with the Diamondbacks. That team is still doing good. Miles Straw, of course, had a great season getting his first Gold Glove last year with the Guardians. And Abraham Toro's been bouncing around. He went to Seattle, and then he got traded to another team, and now he's with Milwaukee, trying to make a run over there. But that, I mean, I just wanted to show you that, Angel, like, because yes, the farm system is very important. It is very, and it's huge. Drew Gilbert right now is hitting the ball well. Jacob Melton's the number 2 guy hitting the ball well as well. Colin Barber, you got a lot of outfield depth. It's kind of almost like a game of risk, I say. These guys could be great in the future. These guys could be, Drew Gilbert represented the futures game. Hunter Brown represented the futures game. Yiner Diaz represented in that game. You don't know what the future holds for all these guys. Just look at Seth Beer. I think that's the biggest prime example right now is Seth Beer, JB Bukowskis, and Corbin Martin. They all fell through injuries, and they really haven't, had a successful major league career. So, I mean, to me, it's like, yes, you do want to keep that farm intact. You do not want to trade important pieces, but at the same time, too, you don't know what's going to happen in this future. Yes, Jacob Mellon's having a great career right now. Drew Gilbert's having a great, not career, but great season so far. They could have a great season today, and then they could have a great, and the next season they could just be falling off the wagon, just like Corey Lee. Corey Lee was like number 1, number 2. He fell down number 7. Pedro Leon, number 1, number 2, fell down. I think he's number 6 right now in the Astros farm system. So I think that's my perspective on it. I think the Astros need to go get it. Got to get somebody, dude.
Yeah, no one wants to trade with the Astros because all these prospects aren't living up to what they are, uh, what they're hoping to be, right? But again, the Astros are always, I think, for the dramatic. They usually wait last minute to make a trade. Ergo, Justin Verlander literally waited to like the last minute before it closes, right? So there's that great. That was a really close one as well. Christian Vasquez and Trey Mancini, another close one. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do to the trade deadline is fast approaching. It is basically like what, a day left, a day and a half.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see what they do. But
Real quick
a little bit more.
before we
Mhm.
move on, Who do you see as a starting pitcher still? The Astros you think they could get if they're still in play for a starting pitcher. Who do you think? Because
Uh,
I mean,
I like
yeah,
Michael Listen or I I like Michael Lorenzen or the guy from Eduardo Rodriguez from Detroit. I think like we can make a trade with them. Or I think daily season would be too much to asking price. I think like the more decent price we can get is for the Astros can get is Michael Lorenzen or Emmanuel Rodriguez.
yeah. Before we started this, they had said that the White Sox are still listening on offers for either Dylan Cease or Luis Robert Jr. Would have to be a sweet package. I think it'd have to be a 2019 package kind of thing. But left-handed batters, real quick, Angel. I'm looking at Seth Brown. I'm looking at Tony Kemp, Max Kepler, Lane Thomas, and Trevor Larnach. I think the number one guy I'm looking at is probably Lane Thomas. He's having a good season with Washington. He has an arbitration year, then he's under club control. 2026 would be his free agent year. He's batting 286, 805 OPS, 16 home runs, 55 RBIs, and 12 stolen bases. He could play the outfield as well. Left-handed bat with some pop. I think kick the tires on that. Maybe you could see what you could grab from him.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. It'd be interesting what they do. Again, it's fast approaching. But moving on towards like more Astro stuff. Um, we're moving on to our offensive MVPs, hot takes. I don't know. I didn't do. I mean, I was alright, but I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next one. So my new one for the Guardian series, I think Altuve stays hot. Again, he went 3 for 3 on Sunday. I see that hitting trend going. I'm gonna write the hot hand. JP France, back to back 7 innings pitch, quality starts, and then my hot take is the Astros will require a left-handed hitter before the break, before the trade deadline, and I would hit the Guardians as well.
Nice. I think I went 3 for mine. Yeah, Altuve did pretty good. Javier did good. I said a home run from each of the guys that came off the IL. They hit a home run the same game. So I went 3 for 3 on that. You got to love it. You got to love it. But I mean, it's a new one. I got Jerry Pena being the offensive MVP. Yeah, that doesn't sound, doesn't sound really like promising. Jerry Pena hasn't been hitting the ball pretty well for the Astros or even for himself lately, but you never know. He did see the ball pretty well in this series against the Tampa Bay Rays. Dusty Baker's really hoping that he could see the fastball more and obviously make contact with it, do something better than striking out or, hitting a little ground ball to third base. So I got JP3 as my MVP for the offensive side. Pitching wise, I got to see Framber, man. Like I said, I had to see El Repti, Christian Javier in our last one. I got to see Framber on this one, man. I have to. You have to have the franchise in check, the Mr. Guy that always gets the ground balls, the ground ball king. Got to get him consistent, got to get him ready for a push because after this series, excuse me, against the Guardians, they're going against the Yankees and they're going against Baltimore. Two postseason teams right there. Yankees are still trying to fight the postseason, but number one, the AL East being the Orioles, and the Framber has to do a great job against the Guardians. Hot take, Angel. Great opportunity. Like you said, they missed the opportunity to sweep, not even sweep, but win the series against the Tampa Bay Rays. Well, I'm gonna say they got to sweep the Guardians. The Guardians are play in a weak division. Their division is a mess. If you go see the standings right now, Twins are barely holding it by a thread, and I think the Guardians are next, and it might be either the Tigers or the White Sox. I mean that if you like I said, if you go look at that division, it's everywhere. So I say sweep the Guardians, and a starting pitcher will be announced and acquired on Tuesday at the deadline. It could be at the buzzer, Angel. It could be like you're saying, all these other trades that they were making, they've happened at the buzzer. Verlander, Greinke, who else? I really can't think of anybody else at the on the top of my head, but it could happen, dude. It could happen, and just have to see. Like I said, we'll have our other special part 2 of the trade deadline on Tuesday. You're on mute, Angel. You are on mute.
Not bad about that. But I could see it happening, be an interesting trade deadline. But now it's moving on to our over and under. So I'm at 14, you are at 17. So we're doing three today. So I have to go 3 for 3 in order to, and you have to go 0 for 3 so I can catch up. The first one Framber allows 3 runs or less against the Guardians. Again, he's been kind of shaky since the All Star break. Texas 6 runs, Oakland 4 runs, and then the Angels 5 runs. What do you say?
I'm gonna go under with this one. I think he can. Like I said, he's my pitching MVP, so I gotta give him his props. I think he got to do a great job against a Guardian team like this. Yes, they have some left-handed bats. Steven Kwan, Jose Ramirez is a switcher, so you'll see him on the right side. Josh Bell's another switch hitter as well. But I think, like I said, it's a their division's weak. I'm not saying they're a weak team, but you got to take advantage of these teams that don't play, good baseball and good competition all the time, like the Astros. So I got the under with 3 runs or less.
All right. I agree with you there too. I say the under, maybe 3 runs, but I don't say anything else less than that. And I'm all right. The next one, I have to add it again. You know, it's tradition because we've gotten it wrong so many times. JP France pitches 7 or more innings. This has been the hardest one for both of us. Texas 7 innings pitch. We both said no. Oakland 7 innings pitch. We both said no. Angels 4.1 innings pitch. Do we have a redemption?
I got to go under. I
Oh
have to.
man,
I got to. I got to. I got to. I mean, I could see six. I could see six, but seven. I mean, man, we're pushing it. That's 3 outings. Seven. I could see a quality start at least. If you tell me it was a QS, I'd agree with you.
you know what? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, that's on me. Can't fool me again. So I'm going over this time. S- JP France pitches over set. I'll say 7 and a third, but I don't think he gets to 8. But I see him pitching over
Don't
7.
jinx it, man. Don't jinx it. That's why I gotta go under. If it's working, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I gotta go under. Yes, I do believe in JP France could get to that 7 inning mark and pass a career high. But man, 3 times in a row, Angel. I mean, starting only like Cy Young dominant tier 1 pitchers do that. I mean, JP France. Don't get me wrong, he's a great pitcher, but it ain't Gary Cole.
I don't know. Hey, crazier things that have happened. Now, the last one before we let you go. Does Jeremy Pena continue the hit? He's moved up to that second spot. Like I guess that's his favorite spot in the batting order because he did pretty good against Tampa. The thing is, does he record 4 hits or more this series against Tampa Bay? 5 hits. Texas and Oakland, he only recorded 3 hits in those series. What do
I
you
gotta
say?
go. I gotta go over. I mean, he's my offensive MVP. I really trust him. Get in that 2 spot. I think he's gonna get more comfortable again, especially him behind Altuve. You got Tucker behind him. He has to adjust to that fastball. He has to catch up to it in order to stay in that spot. So I think it's a great move Dusty did. So I got to go with the over.
I'll go with the over as well. I think the Guardians pitching isn't that good besides Jake McKenzie. I know Logan Allen been somewhat, shaky,
Yeah,
but
I mean they're starting pitching right now, dude. Yeah, we didn't do a preview on this one because we did our trade deadline special, but um, really they're starting pitcher like depth right now. It's not. I mean, there's been a lot of injuries. Tristan McKenzie's hurt. Shane Bieber's hurt. Quantrell's hurt. I think Adam Civil, like you said, Logan Allen and Tyler Bibby are the only ones I could really think of at the top of my head that are pitching for that rotation so far. So, like you said, this is a great series for the Astros to take advantage before they go face the Yankees at the Jungle at the Bronx Zoo over there in New York. You gotta take advantage. If you didn't take advantage of that Tampa Bay series, at least take advantage right here and try to get a sweep against the Cleveland, quote unquote Guardians. So
yeah.
other than that, that is our show. This is the trade deadline special part 1. Yes, we didn't go into depth too much about who the Astros should acquire. We did kind of say our little ones being starting pitcher and left-handed batters. We didn't really get into more depth and to the batting average, to the statistic part, but that's what we have in our eye so far. Angel, Tuesday, we might be doing a live show, correct?
If everything goes good, yes.
If everything goes well, we will do a live show. Reactions, of course, we'll be looking at our phones. We'll probably be looking at the TV too, just trying to see what's going on with the trade deadline. Of course, it's going to be a big, eye-opening sight for Astro fans to see because it depends where the Astros are going to head. Are they heading into the direction of getting started pitching, or they're going to just, stay down and just, you know, roll on what they have? So we'll just have to see. But continue to follow us at Full Steam Ahead on Twitter and on TikTok. Subscribe to our YouTube channels, of course, as well. FSA at Full Steam Ahead on Instagram and, of course, on Threads. Full Steam Ahead as well. Podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple, Google, you know where to find us. But Angel, do you have anything else before you head out? Because I know you're pretty tired. I mean, I'm tired too. Anything else before we move out?
No, just peace. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, Angel already got sleepy eyes on me. Of course, it's already nighttime. It's gonna be midnight right here in the central of Houston. But we will talk to y'all later and get ready. Special part 2 is coming out. See you guys.